Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the latest ATA members webinar, and thank you for your time in coming to join us. Today we'll be hearing from Volcanoes Safaris, which is celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. This webinar is going to cover some of the exciting changes at Bwindi Lodge and will be presented by Eloisa, who looks after Volcanoes Safaris sales and marketing here in the UK. There will be the opportunity for question and answers at the end of the webinar. If you've got any questions, please type these into the chat box on your screen and we'll address them at the end of the session. If anyone has any technical issues, similarly, just type those into the chat box and we can deal with those. Eloisa, over to you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for joining the webinar. I hope you can all hear me well. So this webinar is really about Bwindi Lodge and all the updates and changes that are that we've made, especially last year, throughout the year. In January 2018, so literally this month, we've reopened all the different areas of the lodge. So we just wanted to give a bit of an update on it to the agent.
Eloisa, if you can maybe try and speak up a little bit. I think a couple of people are struggling with the volume.
Okay, I hope this is better. Chris, I'm trying to actually go ahead with the slides, but it's not moving.
I've got them moving on my side.
Okay.
I'm on the 5th slide already. Do you want to go back to the second one?
Yes, sorry, I don't actually see what you're seeing, I think. I am on the very first one.
I've got you on the second slide, your map of Uganda.
Okay. Okay, so Bwindi Lodge is located in northern Bwindi. Probably most of you are familiar with the area. It's quite easily reachable by either helicopter or flight. We usually suggest scheduled flight from Entebbe as the very first way of being transferred there. It's a 1-hour flight. We also introduced helicopter transfers from either Kigali in Rwanda or Bwindi Lodge, and it's around a 40 to 45 minute flight by helicopter from both these locations. From Mount Gahinga Lodge, which is kind of a little bit southern, next to the border with Rwanda, it's a 15-minute flight, so it's very short flight over the forest. Or you can also walk actually through the forest and have a couple of hours drive, and then you can reach Buhoma and Bwindi Lodge. Bwindi Lodge has 8 bandas. All of them have been completely renovated last year. Sorry, Chris, can you just tell me in which slide you are, because I'm not.
I'm on the second slide now.
Okay.
I can progress the slides if you just let me know when to do so.
Oh, okay, great. So if you can go to slide 4, we have a very beautiful picture of the new living room overlooking Bwindi Forest. For who actually has been to the lodge already, probably you remember that this room was completely different, and now we have basically enlarged the windows, and you really have a feel of being into the forest. We also have a new fireplace in the living area, which is kind of the focal point of the room. And if you can just go ahead of a couple of slides, Chris, slide 6. We have also enlarged the dining room that you can see in the picture, and improved a lot both service and food menus. So food menus, basically, we have now included a lot of typical dishes from Uganda in the menu, which has been completely relaunched and revisited. We have a lot of traditional Ugandan dishes available. For example, the popular luombo, which is chicken wrapped and cooked in banana leaf. We also offer a very wide range of amazing canapes. We have cocktails now. For example, our signature cocktail is the passion fruit mojito. And of course, we offer premium wines and whiskeys as well. We have introduced butler service. Chris, if you can go to slide 9. So this is available to every guest and for every banda. At slide number 10, Chris, you can see one of the bandas. All of them have been renovated. We now have 4 poster beds in all of them. And we've done basically a general restyling in the textile and in the furniture. In this picture as well, you can see one of the welcome kits that we put as kind of a surprise and a gift, arrival welcome gift for the guests. We usually put some fruits, a fruit basket, and a nice bottle of wine. And if you can go to the following slide, please. Of course, all the bathrooms are, fully functioning as proper bathrooms with hot and cold running water and flushing toilets, double vanity set, and all of that. The next slide just shows another one of the bandas. This is one of the 2 deluxe bandas that we have. As you can see on the right side, we also have a fireplace. So deluxe bandas do include a fireplace as well. The next slide, please, Chris, shows the terraces of the bandas, which are very beautiful because obviously you can overlook the forest and really feel immersed in it. In terms of activities, of course, the main focus for Bwindi Lodge would be the gorilla tracking experience. As you probably all know, you can track gorillas, staying with them basically for an hour. The easiest, let's say the closest point where you can start your tracking from Bwindi Lodge is Buhoma, which is literally 5 minutes from Bwindi Lodge. There are 3 gorilla families available to track here. If permits are not available in Buhoma, we can still send guests to track in Ruinja, which is a couple of hours drive from Bwindi Lodge. And there are other 3 families of gorillas here as well. Another major activity that we try and promote is a visit to Bwindi Bar. Bwindi Bar is located on the high street of Buoma, which is just next to the lodge. And it's very fun, actually, local bar, which offers traditional Ugandan dishes for guests to go and try them. And for example, it's kind of interactive as well. Guests can even make their own Rolex wrap, which is basically another Ugandan specialty dish. And it's just fun. It's just, it has also a very lovely garden overlooking the forest. And we always encourage guests to go and actually visit the bar, or at least have a meal there. Slide number 16 is another picture of Bwindi Bar. And then slide number 17, we have another beautiful activity, which is a tea tour of the plantations around the lodge. We also have, of course, tea available for purchases for guests. Number 18 is, again, the tea plantation. Number 19, we have an amazing news on Bwindi, which is basically that we are going to open a new spa late March 2018, April. It's going to be a spa overlooking the forest again. So it will be a double massage room overlooking the forest. We will use lots of the plants and herbs that can be found in the gardens, like tea, eucalyptus, lemongrass, and other aromatic plants for the treatment. The name of the spa will probably be the Forest Spa. And yes, it will open late March, April. But we will, of course, let you know exactly the date as soon as we know it. Then we have slide number 20. This is a very nice picture of the team at Bwindi Lodge that kind of made all of the changes possible. Then slide number 21. I just wanted to draw your attention to a few things that we are now offering as well. It's possible, of course, to book Bwindi Lodge as a whole villa, so an exclusive use. And it's also possible to actually go gorilla tracking on exclusive use. So basically, it's possible to purchase the 8 permits that are available per group, and just be alone in the forest with the guides and the rangers and the gorillas. Another way to really enhance the experience of the gorilla tracking is to invite a member of the gorilla doctors vet or a researcher from the Conservation Through Public Health lab, which is the Dr. Gladys Kalema's headquarters in Buhoma, to go tracking with guests. Price is usually $500 for a senior doctor to come and track, and $100 for a junior doctor to come. As I was saying as well, in the transfers, we are now also offering a possibility of actually walking from Bwindi Lodge to Mount Gahinga Lodge. So you walk for 4 hours approximately through the forest with a guide, of course, and a ranger. And then it's a 2.5 hours drive to reach Mount Gahinga Lodge. And it's quite a nice way to actually do the transfer instead of flying for whoever wants to be a little bit more adventurous and try also this trek. We also, from last year, we also offer transfer rates from Kihihi airstrip to Bwindi Lodge for $60 per person on a sharing basis, or $180 per vehicle on a private basis. And as I was saying before as well, we now offer also helicopter transfers from either Kigali to Bwindi, or also from Virunga Lodge to Bwindi. And it's around 40-45 minutes flight. The last slide is just basically summary of the suggested itineraries that we usually sell. So the very first one would be the 6-day Gahinga and Virunga Lodge safari. I'm just mentioning this, of course, is not related to Bwindi. And then we have the 8-day Bwindi and Chambura Gorge Lodge safari, which is another one of our kind of bestsellers, combining Bwindi and Chambura. Of course, Bwindi is also available for shorter safaris. The 4-day Bwindi safari from either Entebbe or Kigali would be ideal for whoever wants to go track the gorillas, do a couple of activities, and basically fly out and perhaps go on a safari in Kenya or in other parts of East Africa. So this is pretty much the update that we have on Bwindi Lodge. I will be sure, of course, to send you also a follow-up email And we are also about to send out a newsletter as well, which will include all details on the different changes. And yeah, I think if anyone has any questions, I will be happy to answer them.
Great, thank you very much, Eloisa. If anyone does have any questions on the webinar, please type away in the chat box. I know the sound of a passion fruit mojito on arrival. Well, that sounds pretty good to me. Looks fantastic, and so I'm very excited to hear about the news of your spa opening, which I'm sure you'll be communicating out through the ATA newswire when the time comes.
Definitely.
I can see there's a couple of people typing away, so I'll just hold on for a couple of minutes to see whether questions come through.
Perfect.
Okay, a question from Ricardo. How does the gorilla tracking experience differ between Rwanda and Uganda?
That's a very tough question. I tracked both from Rwanda and Uganda, and well, the setting is very different. Bwindi impenetrable forest, of course, from the name already, we can understand that it's a very thick forest. It's quite hilly as well, and it's very humid and can be very hot as well. Usually, it's very hard to say how long it takes to actually track the gorillas in both countries. It can really, be from an hour to up to 6 hours, depending on where the gorilla family is and whether they are moving while you are in the forest or not. They usually say that from the Rwanda side is a bit easier, and from the Bwindi side and Uganda side is a little bit more difficult. But in my opinion, it's just a perception, because when I tracked from Bwindi, even though I was in the hardest, let's say the farther group, I ended up tracking for 1 hour and a half, and then we were lucky enough because the gorillas were coming towards us. When I tracked actually from Rwanda, I was still in the most difficult and further gorilla family, but it was much longer because we kind of had to follow them. So it really depends. Obviously they are wild animals, so it's very difficult to predict them. And to be honest, I think the experience, the gorilla tracking from both countries is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I know I haven't really kind of answered the question, but it's very difficult to say, the differences for me. And it's quite a similar experience, meaning that, both forests are incredible. The settings are really, really interesting, and it's quite challenging and adventurous. But there are a lot of similarities, in my opinion.
Yes, it's certainly not an easy thing to do, but it's extremely rewarding. That's for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Ricardo, I hope that answers your question. We have another question here from Monica regarding the private trek. Does the total cost of 4,800 include the trek permits?
Yes, basically the exclusive gorilla tracking it's available if you purchase the whole 8 permits. So you can take basically up to 8 guests to this trek, and you would pay the $4,800 if you are 1 person or 8 people, and it does include it's basically the permit cost by 8.
Okay, that's wonderful. And the question here that's just come in from Bex. Are you working with gorilladoctors.org group on this? She thinks it would be great to invite a doctor on your trek with you.
Yes, we are, and it's actually one of the experiences that we are suggesting now to kind of enhance the gorilla tracking. So you can invite either a vet from the Gorilla Doctors Association or also a researcher from the Conservation Through Public Health lab, which is basically Dr. Gladys Kalema's headquarters in Buoma. So they can come and track with the guests. It's a relatively convenient experience, just add on, and it really gives, makes a difference for a guest who is able to, basically spend the day with these amazing researchers and vets and ask all the questions about the gorillas, the environment, the vegetation, everything. Another project that we have with both gorilla doctors and the CPPH researchers is that apart from, of course, coming with the guests with the gorilla tracking, they can also be invited to Bwindi Lodge, for example, for lunch or dinner, just to kind of have a lecture about the project and the conservation of the gorillas in the forest.
That sounds wonderful. Does anyone else have any further questions for Eloisa, or can we wrap up? Okay, Eloisa, I think that is all. Thank you very much for your time and for everyone attending. Thank you for your time. A copy of the presentation will be downloaded and it will be emailed through to you either by the end of today or early tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you all attending the next ATA webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris, for organizing it, and thanks everyone for your attention.